And good day to all of you out there in the tourism industry in the southern Mpumalanga. As promised, we're going to be doing a series of short videos to try and help people to understand and to overcome some of the problems that we are encountering already and what we're going to be encountering over the next while in the tourism industry. Quite important at this point is that the regulations and the lockdown of business in South Africa has caused untold problems for the tourism industry. You've heard already that we are probably going to be the hardest hit industry in South Africa, as we are going to be the last ones to actually be allowed to reopen our businesses. Something that I want to say to you is that every single one of you have got a basket of skills. Every single one of you know that you come from another background. You come from whatever it is. And I want you today to a serious introspective, looking inside to see what are your skills. Anybody in South Africa that tells me that there are no job opportunities out there, those people need to start looking harder. There are enormous amounts of job opportunities floating all around you. And I want to very quickly just tell you a story about a lady in, I believe it was Kempton Park, that heard about a farmer that he has huge contracts for eggs for flight companies that do catering for flights, for cruise liners and for bakeries and all this type of stuff. With the lockdown, this farmer found himself with huge amounts of liquid eggs that had either been separated into batches inside their fridges, and he was running out of storage space. So what he had decided to do was to cull more than 80,000 chickens so that he didn't have to have any more eggs being laid. And she went to the farmer and she basically held a discussion with him, and she asked him what was his operating costs. And because this gentleman had huge numbers of staff that he had to look after, and he was on the verge of actually sending the staff home. And she then worked on his, because he was about to cull all of the chickens, 80,000 chickens, and he was about to dump something like 800,000 liters of liquid eggs. And she went to him and she said to him, don't cull the chickens, I've got another plan. They found out what his cost operating price was. She added about 10% onto that. And then what she started to do on her costs is that she went on Facebook and she said to people, I have chicken eggs available. Currently, chicken eggs are anywhere from 60 Rand to 70, 72, 75 Rand. And she said to the farmer, give me the chicken eggs at 1 Rand each. And she then basically loaded up eggs, took them from the farm, went to a predetermined place. She'd set up a marketing system on Facebook, and she sold 36,000 eggs in the first 3 days. The farmer's problem with the eggs has gone completely. There were so many people, obviously she had the right permits and all that type of stuff. There were so many people purchasing eggs from her that she ended up in a situation later on where quite a large number of the chickens from the farm were also sold to the people that were coming for eggs. Now, whether those chickens ended up for lunch, whether they ended up as being pets, that we're not even going to dispute. But she was thinking out of the box. Now she set up a system that after the lockdown, where they're still selling chicken eggs, by the way, I believe that it's 30, 35, 36 or even 40 Rand a tray of 30 eggs. So she's not making a lot of profit out of it, but it has caused the farmer to be able to survive. She has suddenly found a new calling. She's a chicken egg salesperson, and she's opened up a huge market for other people. Now that tells me that this lady has entrepreneurial skills, and that is what's sometimes lacking. Although the tourism industry is a wonderful entrepreneurial business, most of the people out there lack, or they think they lack, the entrepreneurial skills to be able to overcome what is happening to us at the moment with, for many of us, the zero income. So as I mentioned on the previous videos, that you've got to change your relationship to money, all right? Not only to money, but you've also got to change your relationship to debt. Every single one of you that is out there, you need to find a way to talk to your banks. You need to find a way to speak to the clothing shops. Assure them that you're still going to be here at the end of the time. Try to stop wherever you can the payment of accounts. Hopefully you do have some types of credit insurance, and activate these things as quickly as possible. Take the time to get out there and get these credit insurance policies active for yourself. You need to form a new cash plan. And what we are doing presently is in the businesses that we have reactivated. What we've done is that we've gone and we've decided that we need a certain amount of money to come in per day. So we have set a budget which has said, we've said that we need 600 Rand a day to come in to be able to survive. We don't need 600 Rand, we have to have 600 Rand. So what we've done is we've gone out there and we're doing business. And in that is the limit, the minimum is 600 Rand a day. So we go out, we do whatever it is that we have to do, we bring in an amount of 600 Rand. We've done that by considering our basket of skills. And you've got to also change your thinking to your business, because many of you think suddenly that you're a failure. You're not a failure. The reason you're in the situation is something that's called a force majeure. It's completely out of your hands. It's some massive thing that's happening all over the world. Your businesses, you might think, are broken. Not broke, but broken. But they're not. The only thing that has happened is that your businesses have run out of steam. And the reason why is because you cannot make money the way that you used to make money. So you've got to find a new way to do it. Whether you dig deep into your basket of skills and you discover that you can, for argument's sake, purchase and sell vegetables, because there are people that are doing that in town. You can go into Ermelo at the moment. You can buy vegetables at hardware shops. You can buy millies at butcheries. You can buy whatever you just have to go out there and start asking the right questions. So we've got people that are collecting fruit and vegetables on farms, bringing it into towns, opening up in other businesses small depots and starting to sell those vegetables and whatever it is. You've got to share the load. This is quite important, because you find that many of the farmers out there do have stock of whatever it is that they produce that they want to sell. So you can share the load by collecting these things, paying a small price, and selling it at a better price than what you're going to find the supermarkets. Obviously, you've got to get a permit to be able to do that. But the thing that lacks most times is the lack of confidence. And I want to say to you, and in the next video, you need to listen to the next video, because the next video, many of you don't know, but I'm an industrial psychologist as well. In the next video, I'm going to speak about the deep psychology, the way to overcome the way that you perceive or you think about yourself. You've got to have the confidence to be able to get out there and change direction. You've got to be able to change direction quickly, which is the situation that you're in right now. The lack of understanding, the lack of entrepreneurial thinking and perhaps training is something that is actually going to cost South Africa dearly in the next few days. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take a piece of paper, and every single one of you write down the skills that you've got on a pros and cons. So you take the skills that you've got, write down a list of the things that you have done previously that made money, and then start to work from that and start to investigate what it is that you can do. Because in reality, unless you've got essential workers in your guest house, you are not going to be able to, in actual fact, reopen your business. And on that list, you need to work out what it is that you want out of that basket of skills. And then vitally important is to find out what other people want. Something quite important is that many of the women out there, you all know, because you're in the tourism industry, you know how to bake muffins and all these types of things. Become a supply point to supermarkets. Go and speak to the supermarket owners and tell them that you've got a fantastic date loaf recipe, a banana loaf, and start to find ways to actually sell these items on so that you can start to make another form of income. And the vital thing here is that you've got to create consistency in what you're doing. So if you get out there and you decide that I'm going to now start making, for argument's sake, rusks, which maybe you haven't done for many years, is that make sure that, first of all, that the product is really good product, that there's consistency, and then set up systems to get those the produce that the stuff that you are producing into the shops, so that you can find a way of actually getting those things sold. Many of the men out there have got other skills, electrical, building skills, whatever. Start finding other projects that you can do. The vital thing at the end of the time is you've got to start looking for a way to turn your skills into cash. And I want to tell you, it took us 3 days. We sat down, we conceptualized what we needed to do, we found what it is, and we literally within 3 days were in actual fact able to jump into it. And we've now suddenly got what, and I was explaining this to you in the previous video, is the many streams of income. The Kevin Kaiser type of story, the Arne Steinberg kind of story, the Garth Carlitz kind of story, where you've got many streams of income. That is in actual fact what you have to do now, is you have to find many streams to bring finances in. And how you do that, I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is that you've got to find another way. If you can sow, if you can, let me give you an example. I own a guest house. I'm sitting in my dining room in my guest house at this point in time. And what we've done is we have now are running a laundry, because I have a laundry inside my guest house. We are running a laundry currently for one of the mining operations out there. We are busy preparing food, which we are busy delivering on site to different people. Yes, we have it permitted. We've got all the correct permissions and all this type of stuff, which you have to be able to continue operating under those conditions in the lockdown scenario. And then we are also doing direct marketing of various other products, health-related products. Many of you might have even received some of the videos. That is the one that has brought the biggest income in. All of those together, every single day, have got to deliver an amount of 600 Rand, because 600 times 30 days, work it out for yourself. That is the minimum amount. Together with us not paying, because we've got credit life insurance on vehicles and credit cards and things like that, finding another way to do business so that you can survive. Investigating every single avenue that there is, registering for government government assistance schemes. Instead of going and paying doctors, if you have to, go to the clinics. Yes, it's going to take some time. You've got a lot of time on your hands at this point in time. Start using the health schemes out there so that you don't have to part with hard-earned cash. If, for example, things like milk was one of the things. We all love to buy the 2-liter milks. If that is a problem to you, go. There are in every town, you will find places that sell cheap milk. You just have to take a big container, 2-liter or 5-liter with you. There are always ways to save money. And then obviously you have to start looking at all aspects of your expenditure. The key thing at the end of the time is to survive. And that is probably my parting message to you, is that you now have got to change the way that you are thinking and go into survival mode. Survival mode for the tourism industry, you're looking at possibly 6 months ahead, where we have to change the way that we operate. Every single one of us. And then in telling the story about the chicken eggs, that is just a lovely, heartwarming story. She has suddenly discovered that in the future, when this is all over, that she's going to have a chicken egg business and possibly chicken business. I saw a photograph of the numbers of cars that arrive to come and fetch eggs. They don't even get out the car. They have many of them have WhatsApped their order through. They come, they tell her what the order number is or the name. She goes, the money's already paid into the account. All they do is drive past and just grab the numbers of egg cartons that she wants. And she's now discovered that because of what she's doing, she's got a huge number of volunteers that are out there. The key thing for the tourism industry, all of you in these towns, start to help each other. That is something that the tourism industry, because we're in opposition in business to each other, the tourism industry sometimes loses track of this. We need to start helping people. If you don't know what's going on in other people's lives, just start helping them. We delivered boxes of vegetables to people that we know. And we delivered it once, twice. By the third week, when we delivered the box, the lady actually called me and she said to me in Afrikaans, "How do you know?" And I said to her, "How do I know what?" And she said, "How do you know that I need food?" They're like, "I don't know that you need food. I'm just reaching out to you because we've got a glut of vegetables, because we're heavily involved into handing out food packs into the town. And there's vegetables left over, and we decided to give them away." And she said to me, "Athol, you have no idea of what these vegetables are doing." She said, "If it wasn't for these vegetables, myself and my family would probably not have food on our table." So immediately she goes on to my list of people that I need to assist. Start looking around you. If you've got extra stuff, start helping the people around you. If you know of families that are in trouble, start helping those families. And the tourism industry, guest houses, if you're cooking, cook an extra small lasagna, deliver it to your neighbor who's got a guest house. You have no idea of the emotion that boils up within a person when you get helped by people. We found wonderful people in the tourism industry. We know that there are wonderful people in the tourism industry, but this is a time that as a community you need to start coming closer to each other. We are involved as a tourism organization, Athol Tourism in Mpumalanga, HTM, which is the shortened version of who we are. We're involved currently with high-level discussions with the province on how the recovery of the tourism industry is going to happen. I cannot answer questions about why government is not going to assist you. All of you know that this is an issue that a person like myself and others are not able to sort out. These are political issues that are way above our heads. But we've got special skills. And the special skills that we've got is a way to help yourself to overcome the situation that you are in. I take my hat off also to other people like Jeff in Wakkerstroom that went to learn how to, years ago, went to learn how to make breads. And he offers artisan classes to people on how to bake specific types of bread. That's something that I'm sure has brought a lot of money in for him. So find a skill, something that you perhaps have always dreamt of doing. Find something that you know from your background. Find something that you've learned in your industry that you are in, even if it means that you've got to literally go a couple of steps down in your status as a business person. I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Ermelo. I'm the head of tourism. Can I tell you something? Nothing is below me right now. Why? Because I've got to survive. I've got to bring enough money in because there's certain things I have to pay. I've got to look after my family, my son. We've got him to move in with us to save costs. His wife is about to have a baby. So all of us are sitting with unique situations on our hands. And we're still servicing the tourism industry. I'm really not going to go into what we're busy with. All I can tell you is huge, some of the stuff that's basically happening out there. The key thing at the end of the time, dig deep within yourself. Write everything down. Draw up a plan. Look at the pros and cons. You will be amazed at what you are able to do. The only thing that you've got to overcome is whether you are prepared to do it. Accept the challenge. Overcome the problem that you have in taking a step or two down so that you can get out there and actually do the best for yourself. Thank you. That's all I'm going to talk about today. The best of luck to all of you. And I want to say to you on the next video, you need to listen in very carefully on the next video, because I'm going to give you a couple of tips on the next video to assist you to understand how your mind actually works, because many of you think you can't do things, and you'll be amazed after the next video. You'll find out that you can do things that you never dreamt that you could do. God bless. Remember, sanitize your hands. If you're going out of your house, wear a mask. If you have got guests in your room, sanitize those rooms correctly, and the best of luck to you. Thank you so much for listening.